What's up, creative people? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Zenaida and this is Fashion with Zenai, a place to inspire fashion lovers, to share my love for fashion and DIY projects. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make a corset top. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. I was searching some inspiration photos on Pinterest and I was inspired by these corset tops, so I decided to create one. To create the corset top, you will need the following tools: a scissor, thread cutter, pins, wristband pin cushion, measurement tape, tailor's chalk, and a needle. And for the sewing process, you will need a zipper, thread, zip ties, and I'm going to use two fabric, an imitation leather snake fabric and a lining fabric. Or you can decide to work with only one fabric without the lining fabric. The only difference is that you will need to finish it off from the inside with an overlock stitch. I have a digital pattern of the corset top in 5 sizes. You can feel free to adjust it if you prefer to change it, for example, to a strapless model. You can find the pattern on my Etsy shop. The link will be down in the description box. I used size XS to create the corset. If you're not sure about your measurements, I have a video on my channel on how to take your own body measurements. The link will be down in the description box. I already had a corset pattern. It's the same as the digital pattern, so this is what I'm going to work with. First, you're going to cut the snake print fabric. You will need to cut one piece for the center front, 2 pieces for the front, 2 pieces for the back, and 2 pieces for the center back. Place the pattern on the fabric. Make sure you place the center front piece on the fabric fold. These are the pieces for the front of the fabric after you cut it. And these are the pieces for the back side. The next thing you're going to do is to cut out the same pieces for the lining fabric. First, you're going to sew the 2 stitches on the left and right side of the front piece. This is how the 2 stitches will look like. The next thing you're going to do is to sew all the pieces together. You're going to sew the princess seam and the side seam. Connect these edges together for the front. For the back, you're going to connect these edges together. Then you're going to repeat this process for the lining fabric. Now you're going to sew 1.5 centimeter seam for the print fabric and the lining fabric. And this is how the front and back will look like. To make the lining fabric look more neatly, you're going to iron the princess seam. Now you're going to connect the side seam of the front and back together with 1 centimeter side seam. Then you're going to sew the side and you do the same for the lining fabric. The next thing you're going to do is to take your 2 pieces lined up together. Make sure the right side of the print fabric is facing up and the good side of the lining fabric is facing down. Connect the neckline and armhole edge together. Then sew 1 centimeter seam along the edge. Make sure you leave the top of the strap open because you're going to need that to invert your corset top. Before inverting your corset top, make sure you cut some slides around your neckline and the armholes. This makes the top look flat around the neckline and armhole line once you invert it. Now you're going to invert the top from the straps of the front. I'm using a pencil to help me pushing the strap. And you do the same for the other strap. This is how the front straps will look like once you invert it. Then you are going to place the front of the strap into the back side of the strap. Because the strap is a little too small to place into the other strap, I used a bobby pin. You're going to create a small opening so that the bobby pin can go in. Then you're going to connect the shoulder lines of the straps. Place the front of the strap in the back of the strap with the right side of the fabric together. And you do the same for the other side of the straps. Sew the shoulder line with 1 cm seam. And this is how it should look like. You're going to cut the corners in a triangle form to make the strap look flat once you invert it. The next thing you're going to do is to invert the straps. Turn the top inside out and connect the bottom edge with the good side of the fabric together. Sew the bottom with 1.5 cm seam. Before inverting your top, you're going to cut out the slides around the curved edges and cut the corners of the bottom. Now you're going to invert the top. To make the top look more cleaner, you're going to top stitch the top with 0.5 cm around the neckline, armhole line, and the bottom edge. You're going to pin around the edges to make the edges more flat. But first, you're going to open 1 cm on the princess seam for the upper part and bottom. Now you're going to sew the edges. So to make it clear, when you're sewing the neckline, make sure you stitch until the 1 cm of the channels. You're going to stitch until here and leave 1 cm open until the princess seam. Then you continue to stitch from the princess seam and end the stitch on the princess seam of the right side. From the princess seam, you're going to leave 1 cm open and then you continue to stitch. The next thing you're going to do is to make 2 channels of 1 cm for the zip ties. As you can see, I already pinned down on the right side of the princess seam, and here is where you're going to stitch. And on the left side of the princess seam, you're going to pin down where you're going to stitch. Then you're going to sew it. Now you're going to top stitch the bottom edge with 0.5 cm. You're going to sew this bottom edge. Here you're going to leave 1 cm open, then sew the middle part until the left side of the channel and leave 1 cm open. Then you continue to sew. Pin the bottom to make it look flat, then you're going to sew it. Make sure you leave 1 cm open on the princess seam. Now you're going to place the zip ties into the channels. First, you're going to cut the head off. Bring the zip ties into the 1 cm channel. You're going to cut out the bottom of the zip ties, which are not relevant. Pull the ends out a little bit so you can cut out about 1 cm of the end. And then you're going to stick it into the channels. Then you're going to close the opening by sewing it by hand with a needle. As you can see, I only used 2 zip ties for the front, but if you want to place 2 zip ties also on the back, you can create 2 channels of 1 centimeter for the zip ties from the left side and right side seam of the center back piece. The last step is to place the zipper on the back. The seam for the zipper is 2 centimeter. To finish off the edges, you're going to overlock the edges. And this is the finished corset top. I am very happy with how it turned out. I think I'm obsessed with this creation. It looks so nice, especially in this imitation leather print fabric. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video and find it helpful so you can create your own corset top. I would love to see a photo of your creation. So don't forget to use the hashtag ZenIDesigns. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, share, comment, don't forget to subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I see you on the next video. Have a blessed day. Bye.